Unicorns and glitter and taxidermy critters are just some of the things they like. They also enjoy 80s hair bands, Grizzly Adams and John Goodman, so if you think that's weird then you can take a hike. But the things they enjoy the most are making art and cracking jokes, so without further ado, here are your hosts. You've got your two artsy gals, Here are your two artsy gals.
Hey everybody, this is Katie.
And this is Lonnie.
And you are listening to Two Artsy Gals. Ooh. Hey, that went good this time. The first time we had to do a second take because we were all like doing different things. It was crazy town. We were trying to be spooky because it's our Halloween episode.
I'm scared.
Although, here's the thing. I'm just going to say this right off the get-go. This is not going up on Friday.
Uh-oh.
But people aren't going to know this on Friday.
No.
Because
they're busy.
They're
getting ready for Halloween.
I think I'm going to try to put it up on... It might go up on Friday. Because I was thinking about putting it up on Sunday, but then Halloween will be over.
That's true.
And then people will be like, but people might be...
2 days ago.
So 2 days ago. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll get it up early on Saturday, like on actual Halloween before the festivities.
That'd be cool.
We'll get into that. Oh my god, it's like the dog knew we were starting to record and he just walked in here and laid down like a good boy.
Good dog.
Let's close the door and see if he stays. My animals have been, every time Lonnie comes over, and now here comes the cat. I was laughing so hard because it's like, for those of you who have kids, or who can remember being a kid, like when your parents or when you had a friend come over that your kids thought were really cool, and your kids act out because they're like, me, look at me, cool friend of my mom. I want you to think I'm awesome. I feel like that's what my dog and my cat do when Lonnie gets here.
I'm so honored.
They're such little weirdos.
It's adorable.
Anyway, we're not talking about my dog and cat today. We're going to talk a little bit before we get more into our Halloween plans and kind of recapping what we've talked about so far and the progress on our costumes. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about some creepy, like, Halloween traditions of old.
Yes.
Like old shit. Because, forgive me, I am currently in, like, the sewing half of my fucking studio looks like somebody murdered Unikitty. There's fucking pink fabric everywhere. So I'm in the midst of costume making hell, and Lonnie woke me up this morning when she showed up on time to record the podcast.
I was actually a little late.
My alarm didn't go off, so I was like, I heard a noise, and then the dog started barking. I'm like, what? I'm all like rubbing my eyes. I still have my goddamn CPAP machine on and all this shit.
I was jamming to some New Order when I pulled in.
I did not hear that.
Oh.
I was out. So I had to go, like, Lonnie saw me in my ugly flannel nightie.
It's cute.
And it's Christmas nightie.
It reminded me of the ones I wore when I was a kid.
I know, that's why I got it. And she saw me, and I was excited because it's been cold enough to actually have, like, a flannel nightie on.
Yeah.
Because I can't sleep in pajamas. Like, I love pajamas, and I wear them around the house, like, at night. But I can't have pajama pants on my legs because I feel like I can't breathe when I'm under the covers. Yeah. It's weird. But, yeah, so I stumbled down the stairs and said, I need to eat some cereal. And was wiping. And I still have sleepy voice, even though, I mean, I've been up for an hour now, but... Anyway, the point in all of that is that I was up till 3 a.m. working on my costume, and it has been pretty frantic this week around here, so I haven't done the planning that I wanted to do for this episode. So if it seems like we're just going, oh yeah, and this... We totally are. The thing that brought this to mind, and I think when Lonnie and we had a meeting to kind of plan each of our Halloween episodes, and this came up because there had been a lot of creepy fucking old shit on the internet. Like people posting pictures on Facebook and shit popping up in my news feed and like just, and I thought, God, this would be something cool to talk about because like, okay, let's just right off the bat, Victorian era and later, I think some, because they don't really have dates.
Like early American,
like fucking Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
Those are a special kind of terrifying.
They really are, but amazingly creative.
Very creative. Some of them aren't, because I was just telling Lonnie, like, there's a picture of one where this kid just has a pillowcase over his head and, like, eye holes cut out.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like I can picture a mom from, like, the 30s or whatever with a cigarette, like 30s or 40s. I don't know. With a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, all like, we want a Halloween costume, kid? Here. And throwing that over her head. I don't know why I'm making her talk like a gangster. And cutting eye holes out and sending them out and like, there, go get your goddamn candy or whatever.
Yep, totally. But it looked scary as hell. I don't know if it's just the black and white photograph.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because they're black and white and grainy because they're older photos.
And their clothing in general is kind of,
I don't know what it is.
The addition of the fucking pillowcase is
like,
ah! Yeah.
And I think we'll probably, I don't know if we're going to have a Pinterest board for this episode just because we probably won't.
Yeah.
Just because we're just kind of recapping what we've already talked about and we're kind of just talking about weird Halloween history stuff.
Yeah.
But I will definitely put some pictures on the blog.
Cool.
Or link some fucking freaky articles on the blog about these pictures. But you guys, look up Victorian era Halloween costumes if you have not already seen these. Because they are terrifying.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, some of them remind me of like those weird scary movies where everything's like surreal and like, I don't know. It's just, it's unnerving.
Yeah, it is.
It's scarier than like, that shit is scarier to me than
the actual blood and gore. Like you know
what? Gore's never really been a thing that scares me. Like, I don't, like, gore doesn't, I don't like gore. But, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'm not like, I'm just like, meh, it's blood. But some creepy looking dude that looks like he may do something horrible to you.
Yeah.
But you don't quite know because he looks like he could also maybe just be a regular dude.
And he would get away with it because you cannot identify his face.
That shit fucks me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's weird.
It is weird.
We had, for Sharon, her husband threw her, for her 30th birthday, a mask. Like, where everybody wore, like, I helped him make the masks and everybody wore them and I didn't know all the people there. And some of it was a little bit creepy just because you have this mask and you, like, it's a stranger and you can only see their eyes and you're like, I don't know. What's the stranger doing?
Yep. Yep.
So that kind of shit's creepy.
It is.
But there was I'm going to post this picture because it is, I'll have to find it again. This little kid wearing like a plastic skull mask.
Yeah.
And he's coming after you with a fucking stick.
Yeah.
Like a club.
Yeah.
Like he's going to fucking mug you, not trick or treat you. But these costumes are so, like, the really old ones, though, like the kinds that they just put a fucking flour sack on their head and cut eye holes. It's almost like the Oogie Boogie Man.
Yeah, yeah.
But little kids.
Yeah.
And they all look like this gang of rough, weird little kids.
Oh, yeah, there was one that was just cut paper. It looked like maybe it was paper bag type paper in a little, almost poop shape. But I think that the mouth was downturned on all of them, and it was like a classroom of kids with all this same weird.
Yeah, that is.
They probably made these masks, and it looks so terrifying. But it's like,
a
wait,
pack
it's
of
just
little
cut
monsters
paper.
that are going to come after you.
Yeah, yeah. There's innocent little children behind those masks.
I think there's something to the simplicity of just doing those kind of costumes. Or like you were saying, like, I think that people must have at some point made paper mache heads.
Yeah.
Because they're like lumpy and weird looking and it's scary.
Yeah.
It's way scarier than like vampires or witches.
It gives me it gives me an idea. Yeah.
You know what I realized? I was thinking about this today. I don't think, like, in the history of Katie, I don't really I've done a couple of scary Halloween costumes, but I kind of go for more cute.
Yeah.
Not necessarily cute, but like, you know, like.
Because I'm always hoping to get some that night.
Yeah, right? I know. I realized today that
I don't want to be too scary.
No. This is the first Halloween costume I've made in, like, over a decade that did not involve a corset.
Wow.
I'm not feeling very body pos this year, so
yeah.
I was thinking, like, if I'd done this 10 years ago, I totally would have involved, like, a corset and...
a kitty corset?
Yeah, something super cute.
With a tail?
Yeah. It's not happening this year. I don't know, though. For you guys got to look these up, because... And I think it would be really cool, like, someday when we own a bigger house, like, the house we rent now is pretty... Like, it's nice size for us, but once you get, like, more than about 5 people in here, it's like, whoa, it's a little close. It's a small house.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be cool to have a Halloween party themed like Victorian era costumes. Like people just look up online and try to recreate these creepy ass Victorian era costumes.
Yeah, it'd be a great group photo.
Oh my God, it totally would.
Yeah.
And then I could get into like Photoshop. You could change it to black and white and you could do weird shit to make it look old and then give everybody a copy of it for Christmas.
I know. Now see, I'm imagining this simple like paper mache, just round head with just... When they do like just jagged eye shapes and mouth shapes where it's not precise, it's just like the holes aren't the same size and they're all weird. That is fucking scary looking.
It's very unnerving.
It would be cool.
It would be
I want
cool.
one now.
Like
just to scare the crap. No, I don't want to scare people.
Well,
I don't like scaring people, but
I do. Oh my God. Sidebar. Speaking of scaring people, I don't know if I told you about this or not. I went to my grandma to visit my grandma and my mom a couple weeks ago because I go down there once a month to spend the weekend with them. And I think I remember saying that I had bought this plastic rat and tried to scare Kurt with it here. And Kurt and August were unimpressed. And I said I was going to take it to my grandma's. That's it. Oh my God.
Did it work?
It was the best weekend ever. And that rat is the best $1 I have ever spent in my life. So I am going to post the video of it, even though my grandma's going to kill me for doing it. But she won't know because she doesn't have a computer.
This is awesome.
Oh my God. So I think I feel like I want to show the video to Lonnie now, even though you guys can't see it, and then I'll post it. So the first thing I did when I showed my mom, when I'm like, Mom, because my grandma walks really slow. So we were walking ahead of her when we were going to lunch, and I was like, look at this. And she's like, Jesus Christ, why do you have a plastic rat in your purse? I'm like, I brought it to scare Grandma. And she's like, ooh, and clapped her hands. So when we got home from being out to lunch, my grandma went to the bathroom and she was back there doing whatever it is that she was doing, talking to her cats or some shit. And then I just set the rat in her chair because I knew she was going to come in the living room and sit down in her chair and watch her TV shows that she likes to watch. So she comes stumbling in the room. Oh my God, it took her forever to fucking sit down. I'm like, seriously, Grandma, why is this taking you so long? I can't find the video. I know it's on here. Oh, here it is. Okay. So it takes her for fucking ever. My mom and I are just like looking at each other waiting. Okay, here, Lonnie. Watch. And then it was glorious. It scared the shit out of her. I'm letting Lonnie watch the video really quick. And then my mom comes through the video like slapping her leg. It is so funny.
Awesome.
So then, like, she just jumped. It startled her. But then the best part is, it gets even better. She falls asleep in her chair. And I'm like, Mom, watch this. So I just set the rat on the arm of her chair while she's napping. So like a half hour later, she wakes up from her nap and goes, ah! God damn it, what's... So then later that night,
oh God,
I snuck into her room and I laid it under the covers on her bed. No! So when she pulled back the covers, she screams, God damn it, what's wrong with you? So then,
oh my God,
this gets even better.
Oh my God.
So then I put it in the shower that night so that my mom would find it in the morning. And I hear my mom let out this, like, she has one of those showers that has the slidey door in the track.
Yeah.
So it's kind of dark in there because it's like frosted glass. And she has this giant fucking cobweb in the back corner of her shower that she refuses to clean. And it's fucking bothers me every time I get in there. I'm like, I gotta clean that. But you don't want to be knocking cobwebs down when you're naked.
Yeah, no.
So then I never think about it. But anyway, I put it on like the little bar that she hangs her wash rag on, and she screams, "You're such an ass!" And she's screaming and yelling. And then my mom got me with the rat.
Oh no.
And I was like, don't even try. I'm all fucking expecting it now. She put it in the fucking toilet and closed the lid. So, and one of my phobias is like rats coming out of your toilet is a thing.
Yeah.
Like it really truly happens. It's not an urban legend, and it
Mm-hmm.
happens in Portland because in parts of the city that have like way older plumbing.
Yeah.
So yeah, she took an ice, but I played it off like it didn't scare me. I'm like, nice mom. But
you screamed
then
inside. You screamed internally.
I did. So I screamed a little bit externally too. And I because I was getting ready to go pee, may have squirted a little pee. I'm not gonna lie. So, like, not in the toilet.
So mean to do to my kid, but so tempting at the same time.
You want to borrow my rat?
I have one.
So then my mom washed it really well. You have to know the rat had a bath.
Okay.
After being in the toilet.
Okay.
So then my brother and his girlfriend were coming over to have dinner with us. So my mom arranges the cornbread on this plate, and she bought at Goodwill just for this. She found a little basket that she could put over the top of the plate. And she put the rat in the middle of the cornbread and situated the cornbread around it.
Nice.
Didn't scare him.
No.
I knew it wouldn't.
Yeah.
My brother's like, or Andrea, his girlfriend, didn't even react. She's like,
Halloween decoration?
nice kids. I don't know. So then I was really bummed out because I told my mom it wasn't going to work, but secretly I hoped it would work. So then I put the rat in my mom's side of the bed because I sleep with my mom when I go down there, and I put it under the covers, and she was jibber jabbering away talking about something, and she ripped those covers back, and she screamed at the top of her lungs, and she was flapping her arms like she was trying to fly away. It was the best fucking weekend ever.
That's great.
It was the best.
That's so
Seriously,
fun.
go to the Dollar Tree or dollar store and buy a black rat, like a plastic rat,
Yeah.
and scare people with it. It is great entertainment. I totally forgot what we were even talking about now because I was so excited about that.
Yeah.
It was the best ever. I've been trying to scare my husband and Kurt with it, or like my husband and my son with it all week.
Yeah.
They're just... I'm not going to lie. I've accidentally startled myself with it because I forgot I put it places. And I'm like, oh, fucking rat. Just, ew, rats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rats are all ewy.
Yeah. They're creepy.
Especially because we had rats here a couple summers ago when they did sewer work. We didn't have them in our house, but they were like, they would just like walk up on the front porch. I still smoked then, so it was a while ago. It was over 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They'd like walk up onto the porch and be like, yeah, what's up? Can I have a cig? And I'd be like, why are you just looking at me? And they're like, why are you just looking at me?
Yep.
The fuck? This is my porch. And I'm like, mm-mm. They're big.
Yeah.
They're like those big giant Norwegian brown rats.
Mm-hmm.
They're gross.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle of the summer, when a wet rat walks across your property,
Gross.
it's wet because there's sewer.
Yeah.
That's an unsanitary rat.
No, yeah.
They're spreading germs.
Yeah.
Look, that's like rats. I was gonna say that's how the fucking plagues happen.
Yeah.
Fucking rats.
Nasty.
Soup's gross.
That's why cats became such popular pets.
I have to say, if I let my cat outside,
I don't know if my cat would go.
oh,
for
I would
rat.
have a string of dead things all over the place. Like,
yeah.
the first thing that my cat would do would be to attempt squirrel homicide.
Oh, yeah. They try all the time. Squirrels are fast.
They are fast.
Yeah.
I think my kitty thinks that she
I've
could
seen
catch
a
one.
cat. I don't think I've
I had a
ever...
dog that used to kill squirrels.
Yeah. I've seen dogs catch them, but I've never seen a cat get one. It's funny to see them try.
I don't know. They're out of control.
Yeah.
They're really being wild this time of year.
Yeah.
the
Oh,
squirrels.
yeah.
Dude, I don't know if I already said this on the podcast, but a squirrel threw a nut at my head from a tree.
I think
Like, I
did,
felt
yeah.
like I was in a cartoon. I'm like,
Yeah.
did that actually just really fucking happen? And I looked up and he was looking down at me like, what? I'm like,
They
did
make
you
their
just
little
fucking
lappy,
do that? Yeah.
Shattering noise.
Shaking their little fucking tail all
Yep.
saucy like at you and stuff. I'm like, you're a dick.
Yep.
Ah.
That's that time of year. That's why there's because see, they're panicking. They're trying to store food. They're like, oh my gosh, it's time to harvest and store food because the winter is coming. And
You just made me think of Game of Thrones.
I know.
Winter is
the
coming.
Night is cold.
The night is dark and full of terrors.
Yes. And it's that time of year where the people know. Well, and long ago, I mean, it meant a lot of people were going to die because,
Yeah.
you know, they didn't have these cushy situations that we have now where we're all warm.
Lonnie's
and
making a
cozy.
really valiant effort to get us back on track, and I think it's awesome.
I'm doing my best.
I'm totally distracted right now because is there a little tiny cute kitty peeking out of your shirt at me?
It's a Nightmare
Oh my
Before
god, that's so
Christmas
cute!
shirt.
I love it. Speaking of skeletons, now I'm going to make a valiant effort to get us back on track.
Okay.
Because we're talking about old creepy traditions, and I think it was in my news feed on the Facebooks the other day. Okay, so apparently, like, the Irish brought pumpkin carving with them from Ireland. And they didn't originally carve pumpkins, they carved turnips. And the picture of an old vintage, I will find a picture of this for you and post it on our blog. It is fucking creepy. It's awesome, but it is unnerving.
Yeah.
It's unnerving. You're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. I would be terrified of that. It's scary.
Yeah.
And now I want to carve a turnip.
I know, me too, because they're cool.
I hope they're easier to carve than those goddamn miniature pumpkins.
Turnips are hard, aren't they? Like a carrot? It seems like it'd be hard.
They're like a bigger carrot. But I don't think they're quite that hard. I put them in soup sometimes.
And they make cool little faces.
And they make the creepiest, most awesome little faces.
I forgot that I said I was going to try to carve zucchini.
Dude, I totally forgot that you said that too.
Shit.
I still think it would be a mistake.
Well,
I think that zucchini would go mushy so
much.
fast.
Yeah. I don't know. I've had it laying outside. Just I picked it and just laid it
fine.
in the yard.
And
they're fine. But yeah, it seems like
Did you know that you can
But it might be creepy if it gets all shrivelly.
Yeah, you can also can zucchini bread.
Oh.
It's super easy. I could totally teach you how to do it.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Huh.
You get wide mouth jars.
Mm-hmm.
And then you make your batter. You have to boil your jars, make sure your jars are all boiled and clean, washed good, sanitized. Mm-hmm. And then you turn on your oven and you pour your zucchini batter into the jars, leaving, you leave enough for it to grow as it cooks. Bake it in the jars, and then you boil your lids and rings and get them all hot and have them all ready, freshly boiled. And as you take the zucchini out of the oven, you screw the lids on really tight. You have to have, like, oven mitts.
Of gloves.
Yeah, and then you screw the lids on really tight and they'll totally seal, and then you have these cute little round loaves of zucchini bread to bring out, like to give away for Christmas presents, or
what the fuck? How
bring
did I
them
not...
out at
Whoa.
parties, and you cut them and they make these little adorable round loaves.
Holy
And they last
shit.
for fucking ever. Like,
wow.
when we moved out of our old house, because we got a little overzealous gardening one year.
Yeah.
When my son was little, like, we had zucchinis. We could not give them away anymore.
Yeah.
People were like, oh my God, they're
plant
coming.
exploded.
Close the windows. They're going to try to give us more zucchini.
Yeah.
And so I don't even remember. I think one of my friends told me you could do that. So I did it. And then when we moved out of that house, like 6 years later, in the back of the pantry, I found one little jar of that had escaped and opened it. It was still delicious.
That is so crazy.
It's good. You should totally try it. I think that's it on the old traditions. Like I said, I didn't do any research. Bonnie, we're going to talk about our costumes now. Because I want to talk about the costume that you made for your child.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's amazing.
Yeah. My kid came up with it. I just helped kind of put it together.
So, is it like a pan costume?
Yeah,
kind of?
or like a fawn.
Or like a dryad.
Yeah.
And tell everybody what you did, because we're going to post pictures. I would ask first, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure it's okay with the kid before we do it, because I don't want to be
I'll see if maybe I can find the tutorial I used for the hooves.
There are hooves, people.
Yeah.
Hooves.
Hooves. platform shoes. You cut the heel off, and you attach. I used some wood, heart-shaped wood thingies from the craft store and screwed them onto the shoe, and then
Like on the sole?
yeah, screwed them to the sole and put some rubber around it, which didn't stick as well as I wanted it to. I used the wrong adhesive. Damn it! But
This to that.
I know.
We should
I
have done
know.
anything for like that though. Seriously,
Rubber to wood.
I would use shoe goo.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah,
That's the shiz.
yeah, shoe goo.
It takes a while to dry, but that shit works great.
And I put a sock over the shoe before I attached it, so that the little nub that the heel that I'd cut off kind of looked like that weird, ankle-y bone that the deer has or whatever. I don't know. It was fun it was challenging.
So,
something I always wanted to try.
how did the costume go over?
Good.
Like, were people like,
Yeah. Like,
whoa, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Her friends cracked up laughing when they saw, they were just like, you look crazy. Like, it was, yeah. And then for the furry legs, I used spray glue and spray adhesive and glued it to some leggings.
Okay, this is a really good example though. Like, Lonnie's acting like she's ashamed that she didn't sew pants for this,
Yeah.
but these are solutions for people who don't sew.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who don't own sewing machines or who don't sew, or like me, I was telling Lonnie earlier, I fucking hate working with fake fur.
Yeah.
It's hard to sew
was
on a
mess.
machine.
It
Is a
mess.
goddamn mess. When you cut it, it is like everywhere.
Yeah.
And I can never figure out, like, do people shave it down to make it thinner? Where the seams where they're going to sew it together? Like, I don't fucking know how they do it.
I can see why teddy bears are short for,
Yeah, the short nap.
Yeah, because it's freaking hard to work with. And so, I just looked it up because I was like, how do people make furry leg pants? And then I just saw someone use this. It's the awesome 3M 77 spray adhesive shit that is like, woo, you do it outside, but it works. It works.
I think that's great. And it looks amazing.
And it looked cute, yeah.
And you did the face paint was so cute. You did such a good job.
My kid did that.
She's great.
There's all these tutorials.
And where did you get those? Because I know the little horns you already had for something else. Where did you get those? Because they're adorable.
Kumoricon, this lady makes amazing. She makes tons of little horns and My Little Pony ears and stuff like that.
Oh,
and they're like God. This.
Are they polymer clay?
They're light though. It's like I can't remember what she said it was. But they're light and almost like feel like they would be porous, but they're smooth.
I wonder if it's paper clay or something like that.
Yeah, some kind of, I don't know, she does ram horns, really cool. And these deer horns she does, they look really realistic.
And where'd you get the wreath? Did you have that? Or
my kid made it.
Oh my God, your kid's amazing.
I know. Just stuff it. Like, we went to the craft store and picked out all the fake flora and fauna and then you do like a floral wire and make a band and just kind of attach it with hot glue and floral wire.
You guys have got to see this costume. Like I said,
I can't believe my kid just like my kid did most of it.
We'll post pictures on the blog because
it was hard for my kid to convince me to buy fake fur, and I know I was the same way. I was obsessed with fake fur when I was young too. I covered my desk drawers in it.
Oh, I think you told me about that.
Adhesive. Yeah, and it was so cute because I just loved fuzzy. I love fuzzy things, but it is a pain in the butt to work with, and it's expensive. Luckily, it was 30% off, so
nice.
I was like, okay, but we're getting the cheaper one, because there's some that are like $45 a yard.
Yeah, I think that they're made of.
They look realistic. Yeah. They look real, and it's like, no, we're not getting that stuff. You got to be more advanced.
Totally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the most creative. Oh, did you go way out to fucking Fabric Depot?
Yeah, I love that place. Dude, that's where all the fake fur is. They had a rainbow of options.
It is so far out there for us, though, like to drive. Like, it's really far away.
Because it's not, it's like 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's worth. I love that.
I love
place.
that store too. It's pretty awesome. That's where I got all the fabric for everything for my wedding.
Oh, they have the most beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, and they have a discount if you order it by the bolt.
Oh.
They have a huge discount.
Whoa, cool.
So I got a huge, like, cause for the just for all my bridesmaids dresses, cause I made all my bridesmaids dresses, so I just bought a bolt of fabric.
Wow.
So, but yeah, it's the most creative costume I've seen in a long time.
Aw,
It's
that's
really
so nice.
adorable.
I can't wait to tell my kid that.
Do.
Yeah. Be like, what?
So, and how are you coming along on, did you make yours one for you and Scott, or you don't look like you're feeling very happy about the one you made?
Well, I'm still finishing it. I'm waiting for, I ordered some Velcro for it. I was going to try to do a corset back, and I'm just not. I need help, or I would need a, like you have, like a form to work on.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
A dress form, yeah.
I don't have a form, so I'm just going to, it's just going to Velcro on.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's
yeah,
great.
I'm like, it's a costume. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be, perfect.
Have you convinced Scott to dress up?
No, and we don't have any plans. We're not going to any parties. We're not doing.
Dude.
So I'm like, I'm just making this for the hell of it, just to see if I could.
Well, you can wear it while you give out candy if you have trick-or-treaters.
I might, but it's very exaggerated breasts on a chest plate.
That's okay. This is what
so
I'm thinking.
like, I don't know if that's appropriate for kids, but it's kind of superhero-ish.
Well, it's not like you're gonna have your tits hanging out.
No, they're
It's like
going to be covered by these big cardboard.
It makes me think of. And for the record, I have worn a corseted Halloween costume almost every year of my son's life. So he has seen more of my boobs than he ever wanted to.
And this doesn't push them up or anything. No. They're just hiding behind it.
Like,
they're not.
Do you remember the old Bugs Bunny cartoon where Bugs Bunny's just, Elmer Fudd's all, killed a rabbit.
Oh my gosh, I need the wig.
You do. That's why I said you need the horns.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And the braids.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's what it is. Because last night I was trying it, and I was like, it kind of reminds me of the mermaids on the front of a ship. You know, the carved
like mermaid. The masthead kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of that, but that's what it is. It's Bugs Bunny.
Spray paint it silver, and get the Viking helmet with the braids. You can totally still get those at costume places.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Kill the rabbit.
Yeah, and then you should post pictures. Or give me pictures so I can post them for everybody. And you can just wear a skirt with it.
Elmer Fudd.
What?
Or wait, wouldn't he be Elmer Fudd?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but Bugs Bunny was dressed as the lady, like in drag, because as Bugs Bunny often did.
Yeah. So I could paint like a bunny face.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And then have Scott just wear a hunting cap and a flannel shirt.
Dude.
Right?
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
I don't think he has a flannel shirt.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
Scott's like my age or older.
I know.
He's a little older than me. Like he went through the grunge.
I think he's
era?
trying to get away from his country bumpkin roots.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, that's related
Dude, all
to
that's coming back
stuff
now.
That my brother does, and I don't want. Yeah.
I went downtown to watch a movie. I went to see Crimson Peak. It was awesome.
Oh, cool.
It was
looked
really creepy.
Like it was good. Yeah.
So I went with my friend Christy downtown to the Pioneer Place Theater, and I was looking in the windows of all the shops. Dude, our fucking clothing style is coming back.
Oh,
Baby doll dresses and docks and leggings. It's like, I've been dressing like this for 20 fucking years, waiting for it to be in style again, because I can't let that style go.
No, 'cause it's
I'm
so comfortable.
Excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm a little fat, roly-poly now. I don't look as cute in baby doll dresses as I used to, but I'm on that shit.
Gosh, I remember before I was ever pregnant, I wore one to my mom's house, and everybody was like, she was wearing a loose dress.
Dude.
I think she's pregnant.
Before I was pregnant with my son.
And then I got pregnant like a few months later.
The same thing happened to me, you jinxing motherfuckers.
Totally.
I don't mean to sound like that because,
I know. Oh.
I love my son.
Yeah, no.
But I wore a baby doll dress to a family party for someone's like anniversary or something. And my uncle asked me, "Are you pregnant?" And I'm like, no, I'm not fucking pregnant.
What
What is your
wearing?
problem?
Yeah.
And only mine was like the hippie style ones that they used to make with like the corduroy top and the patchwork bottom. Because
Nice,
that was
yeah.
when I was following the Grateful
Mhm.
Dead. Like, so many people asked me if I was pregnant at that party.
Yeah.
And then, like, 2 months later, I was pregnant.
And I felt like, and I was kind of, I felt like I looked cute, you know?
I felt like I looked fucking adorbs.
And then I'm like, oh, I look pregnant.
Fuck off with that, people.
Yeah, I felt cute.
Dude. So we're having, like, I'm having costume making nightmare town here.
Oh,
Only because this is what happens when
you picked a tough one, I think.
I picked a really hard one to make,
Mhm.
and I'm making it up as I go along.
Yeah.
So last night I discovered, so I'm making, I don't know if I've actually revealed what my costume is going to be on the podcast, have I? I'm going to be Unikitty.
Awesome.
From the Lego movie.
Everything is awesome.
Seriously, I've been singing that song for like 2 weeks. And then I told the girl at the fabric store yesterday what I was making, and she's like, thanks, I'm going to be singing that song for like all day. And then I'm making, also my husband is going to be Benny the astronaut. So it's going to be rad. But for the Unikitty, like I looked up Unikitty costumes, and I don't know why I'm going so big this year. Like maybe because it's been a lot of years since we've actually made Halloween costumes and been at home for Halloween. But I'm making a big Unikitty head. Not only am I making a big Unikitty head, but I'm wiring lights into the horn. So the horn's going to light up blue, and I'm making her little pink cheeks. I'm wiring red LEDs in there so that when she's angry, her face gets red.
Cute.
Seriously, Unikitty's my spirit animal, people.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
Like, she is me.
Yeah.
In Lego form.
Yeah.
If I were a Lego and Unikitty didn't exist, Unikitty would be invented because people were trying to turn me into a Lego. Because I'm all like happy all the time until you make me really angry, but I don't want to be angry. That just happens. But anyway, I'm trying to frame in the head, and my original plan isn't going to work. Like that's part of the reason I was still asleep when Lonnie got here, because I was up till 3 a.m. like pondering this shit and with my drawings and grab that notebook right there.
Okay.
Lonnie can look at my drawings.
Oh,
I have a
I can
notebook.
do
This
this
is
book.
embarrassing because Lonnie's going to know this about me now. I have a notebook called Katie Being Awesome. And it's what I have Katie Being Awesome on the front of it. And it's what I write all my like plans and stuff in on graph paper. But you can see my drawings and my schematics and stuff. But that's it looks like a wiener, but it's my wiring plan. But yeah.
Do you think a balsa wood frame would work?
Well, I think what I'm going to end up doing is getting like the smallest doweling, like teeny tiny skinny dowels, and building a frame. Maybe not the teeny tiniest, because they are like almost toothpick size, some of them.
Yeah.
But because what I want is to keep it lightweight. And my
Right.
original idea was to use plastic boning, like the kind that you would use in dresses or corsets for really skinny girls that have no boobs, like that kind of stuff. Because it's lightweight, but it's just not going to work because that boning wants to curve because it comes in a roll. And it just, when I got into the actual like phase of trying to piece out how I was going to build the frame and put it together, and I sewed it to the fabric, and the fabric started curling, and I started thinking, well, what if I did this? And I'm like, it's just not going to work. What that head needs and what Unikitty's butt needs is a frame to put the fabric over, like a tent.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to have to use, I think that the best option, like for a while I was thinking, well, I could go get a bunch of little tiny PVC and then like have the little corner pieces and put it all together. But I still think that's going to be too heavy. It's just going to be too much in this big head. So I think if I go get really lightweight doweling, and I don't know if I'm going to use duct tape to put it together or hot glue or whatever, but I think it'll just give me a nice light framework to keep the head, square. I think it's going to be good.
Awesome.
There are a couple things. Oh my gosh. And I'm going to have a rant now.
Okay.
So this happened yesterday because while I was talking to my husband about the costume and the logistics of the costume, because realistically I have a balance problem and things and movement in my peripheral vision trigger vertigo. I'm not sure how wearing a big square kitty head is going to go.
Yeah.
So we were talking about that. I'm like, you know,
And
I
especially
might.
with the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, and the lights can turn off because I'm putting them on a 3-way switch. But we were talking about the logistics of that. And then I'm like, dude, you're going to have me remember, like, my horn. And because it's going to be a pretty fragile, like, delicate horn.
Mm-hmm.
So getting in and out of cabs and stuff are going to be, like, it's going to be hard because we're going to a party. I think we might swing through downtown on the way home. Because, let's face it, if the costumes work out, they're going to be rad.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to be seen by the public.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I realized all of a sudden, well, I should be able to take the head off. But what I'm doing in my original plan, well, and I'm still doing this, but I'm running the wiring in the face,
Mm-hmm.
in the head, down the back of my hoodie. Because the costume part of it is like a hoodie and a skirt. And like what I'm wearing on my body is I dyed everything pink. So I bought white everything and white fabric, and I just dyed everything pink. So there's a pink hoodie, pink leggings, and I'm making a pink skirt out of the same stuff, the same pink or the same muslin that I'm making the rest of the stuff out of. So I'm going to run the wiring down the back of the hoodie around, and then I'm going to cut a little hole in the pocket and wire it into the inside of the pocket so that when I all the wiring's hidden.
Nice.
And then the control will be in my pocket, the switch.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, how am I going to get my head off? With the wiring running through there, that creates a logistical issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad I thought of it before we went out on Halloween. So I looked up online and I did a little bit of research, and I found, it's a 2-pin, pin and socket.
Okay. Yeah.
Connector. And they usually come with like your 2 wires, and you just wire them in. First of all, I didn't want to order it from Amazon because I didn't want to have to I don't want to have to be stressed out about it getting here on time, even though we have Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they mail stuff late. Mm-hmm. They're like, it'll be there in 2 days, but we can't mail it until this day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And often that happens with electronics. I'm not sure why. But I went to my local hardware store. Like, it's a little A-boy. It's, they're awesome. It's a small local business. It's owned by a local guy. Every year they raise money for the high school my son went to. They do Christmas tree sales and wreath sales and all kinds of shit to raise money for the Wilson High School Booster Club. Cool. Which my son still volunteers there because even though he's graduated, he's still involved in the snowboard team. So I like to support that business, and they're usually really nice. Mm-hmm. I walked in there, and I walked back to the electronics section, and I was looking around. And first of all, the guy that was helping someone tried to walk away. I know he fucking saw me. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Excuse me." And he's like, "Oh, what can I help you with?" And I'm like, I told him exactly what I need. Like, I looked it up. I gave him the name of it. I said, "This is what I need." He just looked at me blank. He had no idea what I was fucking talking about. Mm-hmm. Now, it's a hardware store. I don't expect every employee to be an expert in every single thing that the store carries. But for some reason, I've never had this happen before. I'm so disappointed. He looked at me, and when I explained to him what I needed, he still didn't know what I meant. And instead of saying, "I don't know what you're talking about," and having me explain it differently, he patted me on the arm and goes, "Okay, sweetheart, we'll find you something for your little project." And I was like, that translates to me to, you have a boobs and a vagina, so you can't possibly know about something that I don't know about that has to do with dude stuff. Mm-hmm. I was mad immediately. I maintained, like, I was nice, and I'm like, look, I explained again. And I said, I am wiring lights into the head of my Halloween costume. I need to be able to disconnect the wires that are going to be running from the head through the sweater into my pocket so that I can take it off and put it back on when I'm getting in and out of cars and stuff. And he said, "Oh, so you need like some kind of a quick release." And I'm like, okay, yeah, I need some kind of a quick release, which there is something called a quick release, but that's not what I was looking for.
Ah, okay.
So I wanted something where both wires could be wired into one connector, because that thing right beside you, that little blue thing on my notebook, is a quick release. But it's also not insulated.
Yeah.
Like, it's metal. I don't want,
Yep.
I mean, it's 9 volts, but it's still 9 volts against the back of my neck.
Yeah.
You know? I don't want to short out my system, like my wiring or anything. So, anyway, he goes and gets this other guy. And the guy comes out, and he's always gruff and grumpy, this dude. So he comes out, and he's all, what do you need? And I told him the name of what I wanted. And then the guy explained to him, and he was like, well, now, honey, what do you need this thing to do? What are you trying to do with your little project? Both of them called it my little project.
Nice.
And I told him again, and he's like, well, do you even know what size wire you're using? I said, yeah, I'm using 22 gauge wire to wire an LED circuit. And he's like, oh, well, well, we have something. In the end, he gave me something that's not going to work.
Uh-huh.
Because you push them together, it's a splicer. They're not meant to come apart again.
Oh,
like, you have to be really strong to pull those apart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to fucking wrestle around with the back of my fucking costume before I enter and exit buildings. Like, you know.
Yep.
I left with something that wasn't going to work. I was only out $2. It just pissed me off. And then I went to the fabric store, just for reference, people. There were dudes there buying stuff. Fabric. One guy was covering a lamp because I pulled number 52 and they were, or number 67 and they were on number 52 at the cutting counter when I got there. So I had a while to wait.
Yeah.
Those women at the cutting counter, it was all women working yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of them treated the men any differently than they did the women. The men walked up with their fabric. They always ask you, what are you doing? And they're like, I'm doing blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's really cool. This is going to be neat fabric for that project. Blah, blah, blah. Like, they didn't treat men any differently. They didn't act like because they had a penis, it would somehow get in the way of them operating a sewing machine.
Right.
They were as enthusiastic and nice as they were when I went up and said, I'm making a Unikitty costume. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Like, so... I don't know. I don't know how many men listen to this. I feel like if we have male listeners, our male listeners are not... I know your brother listens. Mm-hmm. And I bet you your brother wouldn't tell you couldn't do something because you had a vagina.
I know. He does work in a hardware store, actually.
Really?
So I want to ask him.
I should have went to his hardware store.
Yeah.
Should have went in and said, hey, help me out, man.
Because I don't... I want to ask him if he is condescending. I don't think so.
I don't think he would be.
Yeah, I don't think he would treat a woman any differently.
I don't know your brother personally, but we're friends on the Facebooks.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know he listens to the podcast. I don't think that our male listeners, the point I'm making, I don't think they're the kind of dudes that would do that.
Yeah, no.
But
no.
These were older guys. I don't think that's an excuse.
Yeah.
It's just shitty. I don't mean to get all feminist and shit, but come on.
I know.
Really.
Seriously, no. That shit happens all the time.
It's so annoying. Thankfully, though, back on track with the costumes, my husband's costume is going to be so much easier to make than mine.
Oh, good.
So, because I'm not wiring anything into it, I am going to be able to use the plastic boning. Because I'm just making him a fabric helmet. Like Benny the Spaceman. That's it. And then I'm making a Lego top. And then I'm just going to make fake legs and safety pin them to his shorts.
Nice.
For the legs of his costume. So it's going to be easy. I'm making squares.
Yeah.
Squares. That's all, people. Because it's Legos.
Yep.
I'm exhausted, though.
Yeah.
And right now I'm nervous because I have to draw the face today.
Oh.
Like, I have the face set out, like the stuff for the face, so I'm going to draw it out on the pattern piece, and then I think I'm going to make, like, a stencil. Cool. Here, I have a question for you, though. I don't know what to do with this.
Okay.
My face is going to be in the mouth. Like, that's where my face is going to come out, is Unikitty's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I should paint my face, like, pink? Or could I just have a regular face and look cute with makeup?
Is it going to show through?
Well, yeah. My head's going to be, like, that's where my head's coming out of the mask.
Oh.
My face is her mouth. So I'm feeling like if I want to really commit.
Painting your face pink.
Yeah. I hate face paint, though. I would have to use, like, a powdered makeup or something. Like,
yeah.
Really blush my face up or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just do my regular makeup and then I'll just blush the shit out of my face.
Yeah.
To make it, like, a pink color, so.
Yeah.
That's going to be so funny, though, when I take my mask off. I'm going to have this, like, mouth-shaped pink on my face. But it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to have pictures of our costumes for sure. Lonnie's going to post a picture,
I'm
even
smiling.
if she doesn't
I'm
wear it. She's
smiling
like,
at her
meh.
like, yeah, right.
We'll definitely have pictures of the costume she made for her kid because it's amazing.
Yeah.
And that her kid made. We'll have pictures of me, and that's kind of why I was going to wait until, I think I'll wait until Halloween to post the episode, like Halloween night. Because I'll have time during the day, probably, to get it up. We're not going to do a Pinterest board for this episode because we don't really have, there's not really anything to talk about. And also, I feel like I owe our listeners an apology. Because I feel like the last couple episodes have been kind of lame and we've kind of petered out on this Halloween thing. So,
sorry guys.
when we thought of the idea of a month of Halloween, it seemed super awesome while we were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, yeah, let's have a whole month of Halloween stuff. I think it was too much.
Yeah.
I didn't think there could be too much Halloween ever. But I think it was too much. And I think that the last couple episodes have been bleh. And I apologize. I apologize to our new listeners who came to us through our people sharing about us for the drawing that we did.
Yeah.
This is not how we normally are. We normally have cool shit going on, and we talk about arts and crafts and mixed media arts, and we're getting back on track as of next week. Yeah. Like, this was a failed experiment. Next year, I promise we'll just have one big Halloween episode like we did last year, and that'll be that.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm sorry. This has been super lame. I just feel like it's been super lame. I feel like we've been we've let our listeners down.
Nah, it hasn't been that bad. I've been entertained by listening.
It's been
to
entertaining,
them.
maybe, but not as informative or people come to us because we're an arts and crafts podcast, not a fucking Halloween podcast.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah. But anyway, so next week, Lonnie and I are going to be talking about arts and crafts that you can do with your fall leaves because they're everywhere right now and they're pretty.
I need to go snag some pretty ones.
I know. I need to go in have you seen my backyard?
Yeah.
It's insane right now because we have both those little maple trees out there and they have such pretty leaves.
They do.
So they're everywhere.
Maybe if you have a paper bag, I can snag some of your leaves.
Totally. Yeah, we've got leaves all over the place and they're really rapidly falling. Like the big red ones, I don't know if you saw in Barber. They have these big red trees lining, and they're my favorite trees. I love it when they turn. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about some really cool art and some neat crafts. And I think this one, we're going to have some shit you can do with kids. I know we don't normally focus on kid stuff, but it just so happens that a lot of these projects would be neat or easy to entertain your kids during No School November.
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't know what it is. I don't know about other Portland school or public school districts, but Portland public schools might as well just fucking not be open in November. It seems like we have a couple of in-service days at the beginning of the month, and then there's parent-teacher conferences, and they close for the whole week for that, and then there's Thanksgiving. I'm getting my holidays mixed up. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. We have some cool stuff coming up next month, and I don't know. Should we announce our special guest now? Or should we just say there's going to be a special guest with us the week of Halloween or the week of Thanksgiving? I'm so still not awake.
No, we shouldn't.
Okay. We're going to hold off.
Yeah.
But just know there's a special guest that was going to be in studio with us and you guys are going to be really fucking excited about it. Maybe we'll announce it next week.
Yeah.
Because then the November newsletter will have gone out. And did you guys know we have a newsletter? I feel like we only have like 9 or 10 subscribers to the newsletter out of our like 200 people a week that download our episode. We do have a newsletter, and you can subscribe to it in a couple of ways. You can go to the blog. If you're looking at our blog, in the upper right-hand corner of the blog, there's a subscribe button. I think it says subscribe to our newsletter because there's also, you can subscribe to the blog. I think it's a button that says subscribe to our newsletter. Anyway, it's a gray button. You push it and it'll allow you to sign up for the Two Artsy Gals newsletter. You can also do it through our Facebook page. If you look in the header image, there's a little button that says subscribe or sign up.
Yeah.
I think it's sign up. And if you push that, then you can sign up for the newsletter through there.
That's
and
cool.
Then every month, at the beginning of the month, you get like We'll give you the monthly schedule. Sometimes the names, we haven't named each episode yet, so sometimes the names differ, but it's always the same subject. You get a schedule. We kind of give you a little news for the show, like stuff that's going on. Show you pictures of goofy shit we've been doing throughout the month, whatever. But it's neat.
Yeah.
We talk about stuff and we do announcements, and then you'll know who our special guest is.
Yeah.
It's going to be so exciting.
Yes.
Everybody's going to love it. Anyway, sorry again for the lameness. And also that our podcast episodes we can't stay under an hour lately for some reason. I don't know what our deal is. But yeah, we are going to be back with real art. You can subscribe to the podcast through Stitcher and through iTunes. You can follow us on all of our social media. We'll be back next week with real art shit, and we're going to have real art shit for like the rest of the year, I promise.
Yeah.
All right. So until next week, go make some cool shit, yo.
Do it now.
And have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.